So when I got my start way back in the 90s, there were two things that made a huge impact on me, two information products that made a huge impact on me. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that I love this business of creating an information and selling wisdom. But in any case, two products that made an incredible difference for me. And both of them were a huge leap for me to purchase them because I had very, very little money, and I was embarrassed, frankly, to buy either of them. And the first one was Tony Robbins' Personal Power 2. So back then, Tony's infomercial was running nonstop all the time. And I watched that infomercial, I don't know how many times before I actually bought the product. And the other one was a product, and you might have heard me talk about this, it's called Turn Your Computer into a Money Machine, which sounds incredibly cheesy now, but it had the basics of what we now call information marketing, or what I call wisdom marketing. And both of those, it was a huge leap for me to actually spend the money. I didn't have the money, and they felt like I was embarrassed because, like, this turn your computer into a money machine, that can't possibly work, right? But it was a compelling offer, and I bought it. And the Personal Power 2, again, no one I knew was into personal development, what we now call personal development. And it just wasn't part of my world. It wasn't part of the world of anyone I knew. Not a single person I knew was into that sort of thing. And I bought those two products, and they both made it. I went through them religiously from start to finish, all the way through, did all the exercises, and they made an incredible impact. You know, back then I was a stay-at-home dad, hadn't made any money, like literally had not brought a check home, a paycheck home in probably 6 years at that point. And now I've got this amazing business. I've been able to make a huge impact in the world, New York Times bestseller book, whatever, on and on. So my life has changed radically since then, and I can trace the roots back to those two products I bought. But this is why I'm telling you this story, is because I sort of got involved in this entrepreneurial world, and I got involved in this personal development world. And as far as I knew, they were completely different. But then, I got 4 or 5 years later, when I started to get out into the entrepreneurial world, and I went to a few events, and I started to meet a few people, all of a sudden I realized that my little weird personal development habit that I'd gotten deeper and deeper and deeper into in that entrepreneurial world wasn't that unusual. In fact, it's what all the top performers, all the most successful people I met in that online entrepreneurial world, all were into this stuff, all into this personal, that stuff that I felt so weird that I'm just gonna draw it out. I wanna draw a diagram for you. Okay, so let's just say that's the personal development world. So this is everyone that's into personal development. And nowadays, it seems like everyone that's on Facebook is sending out personal development quotes or whatever. But that's the personal development world. And then, this is what I noticed, is that if we look at the people who are having huge success, and I'm going to draw a dollar sign here, but again, you've heard me enough that there's lots of levels of success, and it isn't all related to money. But if I just look at the million-dollar business owners, multi-million dollar business owners, what I noticed is that almost all of them are in this personal development world. They're almost all part of it. Now, you know, there's a few of them out here maybe that are having success that aren't into personal development, but pretty much almost everyone that's having real success and I've met hundreds now, maybe thousands of people that are having amazing success are all into personal development. So, I mean, is it possible to have this be a hobby and not be successful? Yeah, there's a lot of people out here that are like, you know, they're posting those personal development quotes and they sound all awesome and stuff, but they're not actually doing anything. This is to take it another level. If we just say, these are the people that right in this circle that are into personal development, and they've taken and they've turned it into a habit. They've actually taken action and they've taken those personal development things, those core things that everyone teaches, you know, that thoughts are things, and that you create in your mind first, and that you create a vision for where you want to go, and then you put you take those actions and you create habits around those personal development things. If you look at, I mean, then all of a sudden you start to see a large percentage of them are having success. And again, success isn't all about money. It's not all about money. It could be about a number of things, but it's one way to measure it. So it was just very, very interesting for me that I thought that, you know, that I was this one lone person out in this sea of humanity that was into personal development. But then it was very interesting for me then, once I started to be around very, very successful people, to notice that they're all into it. They were all into personal development. And it's just, okay, so just like going and watching a few momentum or motivation videos and posting some motivational quotes on your Facebook page doesn't do anything for you. But that personal development stuff, when you actually start to put it to work, I think there's some real power there. That's one of the reasons why in these videos, they're as much about developing yourself as they are about developing your marketing, your business. Because I think to be really successful, especially to have long-term sustainable success, you got to get your mental game, your inner game together, just as much as you got to get your marketing and your business together. So I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get them this week.